Hello everybody. I wanted to make this here video because it has been floating in my mind a bit, and I'm only here for Pikmin recently uploaded his video on why he thinks Pikmin 4 is the worst Pikmin game. And while I do agree with that assessment, I wanted to make this before I get influenced by his opinions and whatnot. So, can I? Oh my goodness, very good. So yeah, I wanted to make this out here before I get influence and whatnot. So, we'll start from Pikmin 1 and work our way up. Pikmin 1, solid A tier game. Um, I think that it has aged a little bit, referring to the original GameCube version. Uh, Having the camera controlled by L2 or whatever it is a little archaic, and I do think that I do like the little, I don't know what you'd call it, swarm feature, I guess. Um, with a C stick, but I do believe if it was like for the camera, it'd be better. But to its credit, it was made in like 2000 something, and that's kind of just how games were back then. So I don't really hog on it too much. Um, Great game, solid A tier game. I do think three Pikmin lends best to balancing. You have red Pikmin for combat, blues because there's actually a decent amount of water in this game, and I don't, you only need like a couple. I say a couple, like 20 at most yellows for like ship parts and bomb rocks, which I do think that is how yellow Pikmin should be. They shouldn't be something that you have as equal to like reds or blues, because they're utility Pikmin. Use them for bomb rocks and specific ship parts. You don't need a ton of them. And I do think their place in Pikmin 1 is the best that they could be. But the area design is pretty alright. Not a huge fan of, I forget which one it is. The blue Pikmin area. Uh, I just never really liked its cave aesthetic, and also the level design felt like a little confusing, specifically to behind the ship, I think, or in front of it, one of them. The area that's closer to the blue onion. I do think that part is a little strange, but other than that, solid game. Final boss is actually challenging, which I shall get to Pikmin 3 and 4. Um, and I think it's a solid game. Solid game. It has the best characterization, I'd say, of all Pikmin games. I actually like care for Olimar and I want to get him home and whatnot. So yeah, a solid A tier game. I should state that all these are relative to each other. So just throwing that out there before I was like, what? Why is Pikmin 4 like D tier or whatever? I don't know if I'm probably not gonna put it at D tier, but um, so we have Pikmin 2. I did not enjoy this as much as Pikmin 1. Um, I do like the cave system. However, it was just it's felt a little jank at times. Not jank per se, but yeah, a little bit jank actually now that I think about it. I haven't played this in a while though. Like I want to say a year or two since I last played it on the Switch, which I know the Switch massacred Pikmin 2, so it may skew my judgment a little bit. But I do think the treasure is really cool. You just walk around and then like boom, it's a weed, like the drug. And then Olimar is like, yes, maybe I shall test this later. And that's hilarious. I love that. And they took it out Switchport, and that was like really, really, really stupid. I like that. It was funny. And they just took it out because freaking stupid idiots, I guess. But yeah, Pikmin 2, solid game. It introduced the purples and whites. Uh, I do think that the whites aren't the greatest. Like, I feel like their placement as a utility Pikmin is worse than they were in, like, Pikmin 1. Against the yellows, I mean. And purple Pikmin, they're, 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 they stump the reds in every way except elemental, like, affinities, of course. Besides, like, being slower. But that's not too big of a deal since you'll spend most of the time in the caves, time doesn't pass. So I suppose on land, red Pikmins do beat out purples, which is actually, if time spent on land was more equal to time spent in caves, I'd actually be super cool with that decision. But and also if there was like a time limit, which isn't necessary to this hypothetical, but it would make reds better, of course. But Anyway, I do believe purples are a little overpowered, and whites are a little underpowered. But overall, I'd say the new additions are fun and unique. Um, White Pikmin being poisonous, being fast and can dig underground. Purples being slow, strong, and having a stun attack is just pretty cool, pretty good. So yeah, I'll put this below it. Now, Pikmin 3. This is my favorite Pikmin game. Or no, I'll tie it with Pikmin 1. Um, Pikmin 3 was the first Pikmin game I played back on the Wii U. Um, I didn't really get around to ever beating it because I was a young lad and I was stupid, so I didn't know how to play the game. And I couldn't beat the Plasm Race, and I had to get my brother to go through the area before it so I can actually get the Plasm Race. That being said, though, I do like the finale, albeit it just kind of came up abruptly. There was an entire cut area, which I think the game could have benefited a lot from having that, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles. But yeah, solid game. Uh, the rock Pikmin, again, they're kind of like the same thing with purple Pikmin. They just outclass reds in combat. Um, just in almost every way, other than like specific things like elemental affinities and whatnot. However, even still, like I forget the red Pikmin, red. Fire Slug. Yeah, that's probably it. Yes, the pyroclasmic sludge. Like looking at him, oh, he's a fire guy. I have to throw fire pigment at him. No, you don't. If you throw a couple rocks at them, they'll die, and you can just whistle fire Pikmin anyways, because in Pikmin 3, uh, the they're like elements are just less threatening because you have a lot more time to whistle them before they die. Not to mention, uh, the deluxe editions, uh, difficulty modes, which we'll get to that later. I don't want to talk about it right now. But I shall cover that soon. And then Wing Pikmin, they poor blues. Um, yeah, they outclass blues in every way. Well, not every way. There is some situations where you'd prefer them. But other than that, like Wing Pikmin just are so much better. Which I know like these two aren't supposed to be compared, but like still. I guess like blues are still a type you would want to use, but they're just kind of a little lame. And the winged Pikmin kind of trivialize transporting fruit and specific key items. So I do wish that they could have balanced that a bit better. And the final boss and the bosses in general, I found to be unique and interesting, albeit very easy. Like I could like incredibly easy. The first boss, I forget what his name is, but he's the beetle guy, maybe? I don't know. Um, I know what I'm talking about though. Like it's fun using the rocks to break a shell and then using well rocks again or reds to actually kill him. Very fun boss fight. It requires you to use at least one, which I guess goes for all, but it encourages the use of having two Pikmin out and like switching types depending on like the situation. So I think the first boss is good. Second boss, the Behemoth Phosphat or whatever. I do enjoy him a little less because he's more of a puzzle than anything. Like whenever you turn on the light, then you just chase him around and then he dies. But I still enjoy it. You know, uh, making sure that he doesn't kill any Pikmin, and also like lighting the lamps and whatnot. Third boss, the whatever it is, the B, you know his name. I do enjoy him like less than the first boss again. However, I do think that he is like a fun little play on the game since he is also a guy commanding his own. Well, it's not Pikmin, but I'm gonna say Pikmin. His own little Pikmin to try to kill your Pikmin and you. and I think it's a fun little twist on the like how the game plays. And then you have the Quaggled Myrclops. Quaggled Myrclops is I like him. I like his design. I like him. Excuse me. Just had a drink of water. I like him a lot. I do think it is a rather repetitive fight though. Like you just kind of hit his feet and then hit his um fruit or whatever you want to call it, and then eventually after that it's he's dead. And the game doesn't do much to change it up. He does gain a couple new moves, but that's about it. Not very substantial. One of which is literally just a faster version and longer version of a previous one, but besides the point. And then you have the final boss, which I do think is fine. However, he can be completely trivialized by just bringing rocks. Like, it's obviously not the most effective way to fight him. However, it is the safest way to fight him because they're immune to his grab attack, his Poke Grab thing. Which I don't know why they did that. I mean, I know why it goes with the thematic thing that like the rock Pikmin are hard as rocks and can't be pierced. But like, come on, man, still like, really? They just like I don't understand what they were doing there. Oh, Pikmin 4. This is the most recent one. I have a lot to say about it. So whenever the demo came out, I absolutely loved it. A lot of people's complaints that the first area sucks, and I don't see that. I really like the first area actually, and I whenever the demo came out, I 100%ed like 3 times, and I even got the blue onion early, which I guess is required for 100%, so it goes without saying. But I did it without looking it up. I figured it out on my own. I had to start a new save file to upgrade the right paths with OG, but Um, speaking of Ochi, I have a lot of things to say about him. I think he ruins the game, just flat out. I do not think Ochi is good for Pikmin at all. He trivializes every single combat encounter. You just hold X until the bar is full, then let go, and then all 100 of your Pikmin, or however you have it at the time, just go at the enemy and start smacking them, and then they get frozen by the ice Pikmin, so they have more time, and then boom, they're dead, and even afterwards you get some nectar too, which will help greatly. And before you say, oh, what about the dead bodies? Collecting dead bodies has never been a problem in Pikmin. Like, whenever you get a decent chunk for each type, you're fine. Another thing, speaking of enemies, enemy design are, like, not the greatest. A lot of them are just, like, elemental reskins of others. Like, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of them. I can only think of a couple brand new enemies top of my head. Like, there was the Porcupine, and the weird tall guy that throwed Pikmin into his head, which I never understood how to fight him properly, so I just threw a bunch of yellow at him until he fell, and then I charged him with Oshi. Which is that how you're supposed to fight him? I don't understand. Um, and then that's all I can think of right now, actually. Yeah, that's all the totally. Wait, nope. Hold on. No, no. I mean, there's like some bosses, I guess, like the Frostmoth guy. But I don't know if I really count them as like enemies. I mean, they're bosses. They are enemies, but still, like I don't think they're like in the same ballpark as like the regular enemies. But yeah, the enemy design is god awful. Um, it's just writing off like the previous game's enemies. Um, and then you have the 2 new types, which I mentioned earlier. Ice Pikmin are really strong, like as an auxiliary source for combat. They don't do a lot of damage themselves. However, freezing the enemy in place for a while is cracked out, and you can also like instantly kill some enemies by charging them with OG to make them hop up, and then having them freeze in the air. They fall down, they just instantly die, which like that. Jesus Christ, Nintendo, what are you doing? And then you have glow Pikmin, which are pretty much exclusive to night missions. I never use them in caves aside from the final boss. Um, yeah, not the greatest Pikmin types, I'd say. Like I do think like Ice and Glow Pikmin are great ideas. They just weren't like fleshed out properly and like iterated upon like enough times to create a fun, unique, and balanced Pikmin. Oh my God, are you okay, Alvin? Sorry, my cat just tried to jump on my desk and then failed. Um, he goes, yeah, he's all right. Anyway, um, I only bring it up for a small bit, but I think Ochi completely ruins the game. Having all your Pikmin concentrated at one point makes dodging enemy attacks incredibly easy. Especially because they'll even the purple Pikmin will be as fast as um Oshi because they'll just be on his back and no threat whatsoever. Um, I don't, and then the three type limit. Ugh, the three type limit. This just killed area design and just like player choice as a whole. You go into one area and it says, okay, use these three types and nothing else. And like, okay, I guess we'll use these three types and nothing else. So you just don't experiment with other Pikmin at all in the area. And it also ruins level design to the point where like you can only three Pikmin can ever be used to design one level, with a few exceptions. However, that just made it look like just really dumb whenever you get somewhere and it just requires a type you didn't have because the game didn't tell you you needed it, which is just frustrating. And then you have to go back to the onion and withdraw some Pikmin. Not very good, not very cool and good. So you you have to do that, and then whenever you do that, you put them up instantly back because they're only needed for one thing, and then you go back to the three designated by the game, which, ugh, hate it, and the level design suffers because of it. Um, moving on to, I guess, since Pikmin 3, I covered the bosses, I shall also cover the final boss of this one. Um, final boss, I'd say, is pretty good, I'd say. It was the only part where the game actually challenged me, and also the only part I used glow Pikmin. Um, I also like the whole like idea of just a big dog attacking you, because you also have a dog yourself, so again a parody like Pikmin 3's big guy, whatever his name is. And I enjoyed that fight. I enjoyed that fight quite a bit. Um, I don't really know how to like explain it that much because it's very simple. You just go through like multiple types and then kill them. Like it's single staged, so like Pikmin 3, the freaking forget his name, that final boss, the Plasm Wraith. Oh, yes, maybe I don't know. He would use his elemental attacks like all at once. He wasn't just like, okay, I'm in red phase. You will use your red Pikmin to kill my fire attacks. And no, he would go, okay, here's shut up, Steel Series. Here we go. Here's my red, blue, and rock. Have fun. And then you would not anyone have died because elemental hazards are a pushover in Pikmin 3, which I completely forgot to talk about the side content and the difficulty modes. I shall get to that. Um, yeah, and like I think that's a much better than just like I'm red now, I am blue now, I am yellow now, I am green now, and like just much worse than having to tackle all three at once and you know having to strategize and multitask inside of the boss fight. Another thing, I'll probably be comparing between 3 and 4 a lot, by the way, because like this is like Generation 1 and this is Gen 2, in my opinion, my personal opinion. Um, I think three captains is how it should be. Three regular captains, no unique quirks themselves. Um, I I I multitask a lot in Pikmin 3, and the game encourages that with its time limit. However, Pikmin 4 has your captain and Ochi. Ochi can jump, which he has exclusive things, which just makes you not want to really spread him out that much. And he's also just 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 makes combat so easy. So you would never want to split yourself and Ochi up unless you like send him out for a to deliver something, which you will do. So you will be without him sometimes, but not quite common enough. And it's just not. I hate Ochi. Like I hate him so much. I think he ruins the game. I will ruin is a bit strong, but it would be much better if it was just a regular captain or nothing at all. But yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts about Pikmin 4. Also, another thing, side content like is much worse. Like Pikmin games have always had side content, which I don't think Pikmin 1 and 2 side content are that good, like much. And I actually really like Pikmin 3's side content. Um, I got platinums on plenty of levels. I didn't platinum everything, of course, because that's insane. Some of them are really hard. But Pikmin 4s are just kind of like pushovers. Like the levels are so much easier compared to Pikmin 3s. Had no extra water. Um, and I do think Pikmin 3 handled side content a lot better. But I do like the inclusion of like the bonus stages or I'm tired of calling them side content. Included into the campaign. I think it's a phenomenal idea. However, it does kind of ruin like the whole like thing with it being side content, which makes the game seem a little shallow itself to compare to the others, because it's had campaign and that, campaign and that, campaign side mode and that, and this is just campaign. And Olimar's quest, however, again, it's contained within the campaign, which is I don't know. I'd prefer it being like its own menu thing. I feel like even though it's functionally the same, well, not functionally, you know what I mean. Even though it's the same, I feel like it feels better to have it like separated. Oh yeah, Olimar. Um, I'm not gonna delve into the Pikmin timeline because I think that having a soft reboot question mark of the series is stupid. It was unnecessary. You just released Pikmin 1, 2, and 3. The logical thing would make to make a direct sequel to Pikmin 3 because all the people who are ready to play Pikmin 4 might have played these and like, okay, I know it happens, and I'm excited to see what does happen. And then you get to Pikmin 4 and just like, no, a soft reboot. Yeah, frick you, buddy. And you're just like, okay, not. I don't know why they did that. Not a huge fan. Um, Also, like, I know this is kind of unrelated, but like, why is the house area completely prim and proper? I don't understand that. Like that's just like a weird thing, a weird nitpick. Like, just I don't understand it. It's besides the point, though. Um, I also didn't really like the area itself. Like, it's a fun, unique idea, but what I need to talk about the areas too. I have a lot of thoughts about this game. Um, yeah, I like the first area, and the second one, Blossoming Arcadia. Um, uh, doesn't really stand out in my head at all. Like, there's mud, I think, which is kind of just annoying to traverse through. And then you have the Sunset Shores or whatever it is. Um, I like the idea. However, then they decided like low tide, second half of the day, and then you just put all your blue Pikmin back because why would you still have them unless you like needed a few specific parts. And then fourth area, yeah, it's the house level. Um, fun idea. However, bad execution. And then Giant's Hearth or Primordial Thicket, I forget which comes first. Those two blend together in my head. Like I don't, I can't, I could not tell you which one is which. And neither did I really enjoy those areas that much. Like I'm just not a fan of the latter half. Um, or really four out of the six areas in the game. I think that they could have refined the other ones a bit more, maybe like removed one or two. I think that would have been much better. Um, it also lacks like a proper snowy area, which I understand why. It takes place in like a I actually don't know what it takes place in. It confuses me. There's a map and everything, which I think shows a neighborhood on it and like a forest and a beach, but that's that. It's like 144p, maybe even less, and I don't understand what I'm looking at. But I do believe that covers all my thoughts on Pikmin 4. Um, Night mode. Night mode kind of sucked. I won't lie. Like, I don't have anything special to say about it. You just sit there. Well, you don't sit there, but you walk around, kill some guys, and then if something is yelling at you, you switch back to Ochi because you should probably like leave him at one of those bases to defend, and then you kill him because Ochi is overpowered. Not to mention that glow Pikmin themselves are overpowered. So, I mean, I guess they solved the power imbalance with the Captain and Ochi by just making glow Pikmin overpowered if you're using the Captain, which is nice. I would nerf Ochi, but it's besides the point. Um, so back to Pikmin 3 because I mentioned how I didn't cover the Lux content. Let's talk about the difficulty modes first. Um, First thing, they made the game easier overall, which not necessary. Pikmin 3 was the easiest in the series at that point, and it still is an incredibly easy game. Um, they added. Let me show you what they did. Yes, so they titled it Normal, Hard, and Ultra Spicy. Now looking at this, you would just say, okay, normal is probably what it was. Oh, hey, look, I'm only here for Pikmin. Like as it was on the Wii U. Hard is a harder version. In Ultra Spicy, that's the extreme mode. I heard that you can only have 60 Pikmin. That must be so difficult. Um, and then you like start hard mode because you want a more difficult experience, and then you play it, and you're like, hey, this is literally just the original game. And then you wonder what normal mode is, and then you play normal mode, and Jesus Christ, everything just dies like in an instant, and you're just like, okay, I guess. And also time of day, I believe, is longer, and you get more juice, which juice is never really a problem in Pikmin 3 if you're semi-competent. So that's just, yeah, normal mode, but why? Hard mode is literally just base game, which calling the base like the original game hard is an insult to anyone who is like even like the slightest bit good at Pikmin. And then you have Ultra Spicy, which it really hypes it up, saying it's gonna be like a really hard, really difficult game. And then you play it, and you're just like, oh, okay, I guess. And like, sure, you only have 60 Pikmin, which sounds like 40 Pikmin gone. That almost halves your DPS in general. But like in reality, it's really not that big of a deal. It only makes gathering bodies and parts and not parts, bodies and fruits a lot more tedious. And normal mode also affected all the side content. Every single piece of side content is in normal mode. So everything has less health and will just die instantly, pretty much, which I'm fine with, to be honest. The difficulty in the side content comes from optimizing it, trying to get down to that platinum. So, I'm fine with normal being there. However, in Olimar's Shipwreck Tale and whatnot, I would have liked a difficulty selection. Was it just like being completely stupid and there is a difficulty selection for Olimar's Shipwreck Tale, which I don't think there is. Um, but yeah, that summarizes my thoughts upon the difficulty mode. I do like Olimar Shipwreck Tale. I really wish it was like actually brand new areas and wasn't just reused with like a couple objects added here and there. But it was a port. I didn't expect anything special, to be honest. And yeah, I think that's all my thought. Oh yeah, they added multiplayer, which brilliant to the campaign. I love that. I played with my brother. Very cool and good. Um, yeah, that's my thoughts on Pikmin games. I definitely fit a lot more with the latter half because I feel like I have a lot more to talk about with them than the others. But yeah, that'll be all. 30 minutes. Dang. For the Pikmin games, these are equal and these are equal. Um, no, Pikmin 4 is worse than Pikmin 2. Ignore the ABC. I don't think Pikmin 4 is a C tier game. It's like B or A or something. But yeah, that's all, folks. Hope you enjoyed my very insightful thoughts about these four games, and I shall see you guys next time. I have some ideas specifically covering um, Margin of the Strange, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Earthblade. If you know what happened to Earthblade, I think that's what it's called anyways. Extremely OK Games is a game that they recently canceled. It's You can get a general idea of what the video is going to be about. I don't think Margin is in that much trouble, but Silksong I am worried about. Anywho, that'll be all for you today. It might be a while if that video comes out, by the way, because I have something I want to get before I start production on it. But yeah, that'll be all for today. Um, yeah, equals bing bang. That's my thoughts. Hope you have a great day. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go play like Bloodborne now or something, probably. At least whenever my friend gets on. Anywho, bye bye.